concentration and industrial. So these two different labor systems is what are going to lead us to our next task. Okay, you're actually going to read, it's on Edmodo, and I'll show you what everything looks like. You're going to do this for the rest of class. Okay, you're going to read, I have the rules of a mill in Massachusetts called Lewiston Mill, right? Why do we have rules? What are rules there for?
To follow.
Yeah, well, to follow or to be broken. Sometimes rules need to be broken because they're unjust. Like when the law says that you can separate, you can have apartheid or segregation. People that protested against segregation in the southern United States in the 1960s were technically breaking the law and doing that, but they were doing the right thing, and no one would debate that now. So I'm not going to sit here and tell you the rules should always be followed, because sometimes the rules are immoral, and the rules can be wrong. I mean, you see that throughout history all over the place. Right? Not the rules of my class, but other rules. Okay? So the first thing is the Lewiston Mill rule. Okay? The second thing are the plantation rules from DeBoe's Plantation. You're going to be able to find, Willem, a bunch of similarities between these two things. And essentially that's what you're going to do. You're going to compare and contrast. All of this stuff is on Edmodo, so you don't have to print anything. Okay? It's in the file called Pre-Civil War Factory versus Plantation, the folder rather. 3 documents: Plantation Rules, Lewiston Rules, Work Rules, Factory versus Plantation. You don't have to follow this exactly. You can make a graphic organizer look like this if you'd like, where you have 3 columns: factory rules that are specific, plantation rules that are specific, and then rules that intersect. Okay? And not just rules, but also duties. What's the difference between a rule and a duty?
A rule is not like a code thing.
Huh?
A duty is something you're like required to do, and a rule is something to follow while you're doing it.
Good. There's a distinction, and you're right. A duty is something you're required to do. A rule could be like, don't spit on the floor, right? You understand? So it's a limitation, really. A rule is a set of parameters. It's a limitation that limits your behavior, hopefully to maintain order. In this case, why do they have rules at school? Why do we have rules?
Because everyone would be animals.
Because teenagers are animals. Good answer. Can you think of another one? I mean, we're all animals, technically. Why do you have rules in school? Why do we have rules at work?
So
To have an image, like
also
maintain
Maintain safety.
So that everything works accordingly.
So that things work, maybe according to what?
To what you have to do if anyone could be
to encourage us to produce something. So to encourage productivity, right? To encourage the learning process, right? I mean, you guys are going to be looking at 2 primary sources that are kind of difficult because the language is dated. All right, you're doing this independently; it's not a group thing, and what you're producing is independent. Okay, but in order to do that, you're going to need a nice, quiet, sane, working environment. Okay, but they're control mechanisms. They're there to create stability, right? So this is what you're going to do for the rest of the class. I'm going to be here. I'm going to be going around. You're going to have questions. I want you to be specific, and I want these to look clean, because this is going to be your first grade for the next term. All right? Everybody starts with a tabula rasa for term 3. It means clean slate. Tabula rasa. All right?
So it starts with the
What language?
participation.
No. You have to earn. Oh, and you guys were able to see your participation grades. I put them in yesterday.
Got an 80.
So actually, while you're beginning this, Johanning, while you're starting this, I'm going to go and I'm going to recalculate for the exemptions. So I will be coming around the class while you're reading this. But like I said, it doesn't require you to work together. In fact, it's expressly forbidden. This is an independent activity. If you want to ask me a question, please, I'll be here and I'm going to come around and help. And if you need to help somebody get the documents, because Edmodo's been very slow for the last couple of days. It's better for you to go through the browser than the actual app. Okay?
Yeah.
And I'll be here for questioning. Right now, what I'm going to do, though, is fix those calculations.